Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a what's in my track bag video. I was actually inspired to make this video today. I was cleaning through my stuff and I was packing up my track bag for this upcoming week, and I was inspired to film a video because I thought I have so much stuff in here that's like super specific to me, and I have refined it over the past 2 years of just like realizing I need this, I don't need this, like at a meet. So this is gonna be what's in my track bag, and I guess we'll start with the bag itself. Actually, up until like 2 or 3 days ago, I was using a blue bag from Simplot, and this one my sister just gave to me. It's her old Arcadia bag, and it's just a lot bigger, so I'm just going to start using this because it's going to be a lot easier for me just to have all my stuff in this bag instead, because it gives me a lot more room. But this is the bag. It's got 2 side pockets, a water bottle pocket, a little thing on the top, and then just one big compartment in the middle. And then it's also got a thing on the bottom. I put my jumping spikes in there just because I use those less often, but anyways, I also have these pins on the front of my bag, and these are all my pins from just running it. Like, I guess I'll go through them all. I have 2 BOCO pins, and BOCO is a meet of all the schools in Boulder County, and our team has won it for the past 9 years in a row. So I have 2 of those, one from 2017, one from 2018, freshman year and sophomore year. And then I have a pin that says Finish on Empty. I got this pin at NXR. I went to Arizona and competed with my cross-country team there. That was super fun, and they were giving out these pins for free at a Nike tent, so I just took one. I have this little star, and this is for All-State. I think that I was All-State in the 4x1 and a couple other things, but I can't remember what it was. I just remember we got this star at awards night for that. And then there is first year cross country, which is this little CC. And then I have a bar for second year cross country. And then I used to have a first year for track, which was a little running shoe, but it got ripped off my bag. And then I have second year for track. So those are all the pins. I guess the next thing would be my spikes. I have 2 pairs of spikes. I have my sprinter spikes and my jumping spikes. I keep my sprinter spikes in this little black bag. The reason I have them in a separate bag is, first of all, because since they're obviously spikes, they've got these little spikes on them. The bag is just an extra layer, although it really doesn't do much. The main reason is because it helps when you're going like onto the infield before your race. You can just take the bag instead of taking your whole big bag. So yeah, these are my sprinter spikes. They're black, pink, and then they've got blue on the bottom. These were my spikes that I used last track season. I'll probably get new ones for this next season, but I'll use these during indoor. And then I have my jumping spikes, which I keep in this blue bag that I got for free to meet. My jumping spikes are super dirty, obviously from being in the pit and jumping all the time. These are just a little bit different because if you can tell, these have a more rounded bottom and force you to stay up on your toes, and these ones are flatter. It's got a flat bottom, and when you land, it's not as much up on your toes, which is just better for your form for jumping. So these are my jumping spikes. I don't use my jumping spikes that much during the fall and summer, so normally I just leave these in the bottom of my bag. And I barely use my sprinting spikes in the fall or summer either. Those just kind of stay in my bag just in case, but I don't really use them until indoor and the actual season. So I guess the next thing could be my water bottle, which isn't super exciting, but this is just my water bottle that I use every single day at school and through practice. Most of the time I have to refill it, but it's got a bunch of stickers on it. This one says hydrate or dihydrate. This one is the state cross country meet This one is the USATF, which is USA Track and Field. You get these stickers when you become a member. And then this is one that says Run Happy, which is a Brooks sticker. And then I have a metal reusable straw on the inside, which just helps me hydrate throughout the day. So yeah, that's my water bottle. The next thing is my training journal. This I just write in every day after practice, and it helps because you can go through and look back at what you've written, and on days when you have good workouts, you can see, oh, I ate this on this day, and oh, I drank this much water, and you can kind of see if there are any correlations with having a good workout. So say you did this with your diet and you had a good workout, then maybe that's something that'll help and you can try it again. Or if you did this with your diet and you had a bad workout, you know that you probably shouldn't do that again. So this is just helpful to make sure you always are having good workouts and get good race day prep. And it's also nice just to reflect on your workouts. Next thing is my warm-up sheets, I guess. I've got my big packet for hurdles, which is just a bunch of hurdle warm-ups. And then these are just little plastic cards that we got from our coaches. Double-sided, just got a bunch of different warm-ups on it that we will use during the season when we're leading warm-ups. Next thing is my 2 recovery balls. This is a lacrosse ball and this is a golf ball. These are nice to roll out your muscles just to help your muscles recover, and they help with soreness and things like that. The golf ball I really only use on my feet. It's really nice because it's pretty hard and it really will help massage out your arches and just release any tension in your feet. This one I use on my feet. I'll also use it on my calves and sometimes my quads, but most of the time if I want to roll out my quads, I'll use a bigger foam ball or an entire cylinder. But I actually don't keep any of those in my bag. I'm considering getting my own foam ball, but most of the time I just borrow from someone else or from my coach. So yeah, next is this stretching strap. This is just a, typical yoga strap, I guess. Nothing too exciting about it, but it helps. I stretch with this a lot just for doing these specific stretches that we'll do to help stretch out our hamstrings and things like that. Our coach will take us through a series of stretches using the strap, so it's just good for me to have that in my bag. And if I want to do the stretching series on my own, it will help me with that. Next, I guess, is these, which seem simple, but I actually decided to include them. A pen, because you never know when you're going to need a pen. Sounds stupid, but sometimes you need it just because sometimes you're writing down stats, things like that. And then a Sharpie, because at every meet I actually write my goals on the inside of my wrist or on my hand somewhere for the meet, just so that you can kind of have an idea and hold yourself accountable. And also so you can visualize your goals before your race. It really will help you run faster. Next thing is my sunscreen and bug spray. Sunscreen is an essential when you're out at a track meet or even just practice for 3 hours. If you're at a track meet for 8 hours of your day, you're going to need sunscreen. You're going to be out in the sun, at least personally, because I do not tan. I just get burnt. So you're going to need sunscreen. It's an essential. I have spray for when I need to go quick, some face stuff, and then I have these two because I prefer lotion, but when I just need to quickly reapply right before something, or if I'm having a busy meet day, I have the spray. These are in a plastic bag and have tape on them because they have like holes on them from my spikes, because just being in the same bag as my spikes, they'll get holes in them just because it's a little plastic bottle. And then they'll leak sunscreen on everything. So these are in a plastic bag. Bug spray I actually never really use at track meets. The only reason I keep it in my bag is because I keep all my sunscreen in my hiking backpack. And then once hiking season is over and I don't need sunscreen in there, I just throw it all in my track bag. And this goes with it because I do keep my bug spray in my hiking backpack. I don't think I've ever actually used it, but who knows when it might come in handy. It's just nice to have in case it is buggy. The next thing I would say is my hat and gloves and my sunglasses. So I've got just these little gloves and this hat for when it's cold. And even if it's not, even if I was comfortable without the hat on, sometimes I'll put a hat on when it's cold anyways, just because you lose a lot of body heat through your head. And On cold days, you want to make sure you're getting plenty warm because it's very difficult to warm up on cold days, obviously. And then most of the time, I'll have a baseball hat or a visor in my bag. I currently don't have it in my bag because I was wearing it for something else and I just haven't put it back in yet. But I have a visor and sunglasses. Sunglasses, I obviously don't wear these when I'm warming up or competing, but I wear them when I'm just around. They're nice to have because just on long days in the spring when you're outside all day, it can be really helpful to have at meets. And then the visor I will wear sometimes when I'm running. Next, I have these little energy chews. And these are actually super helpful. I like them a lot because they're meant to be eaten during your workouts, not before or after. So they work really fast, pretty much instant energy. They're super nice to have if on a day when you have to compete and you're feeling like really low energy, like you just can't do it. Just pop one of these in and I normally feel better. Also, when you're about to have a really hard workout or even halfway through a workout and you're just struggling, I just pop one of these in and I automatically feel like better and that I'll probably have a better workout. So yeah, I actually would really recommend these. They're ginger ale flavored, which some people don't like, but I actually really like them. I think they're really good, and these are just great to have in general. Next is kind of a 2-in-1. I've got my cough drops in a little baggie, and I have a hair tie around them in case I forget a hair tie. I've got an extra hair tie in my bag. But I've got all these cough drops for, first of all, when I'm sick, but mostly for runner's cough. So after big, longer sprints, like the 8 or the 4, and whenever we do the 600 at workouts and even the 300 hurdles, you'll get runner's cough, which is when your throat is, burning and you're just coughing a lot. And this is super helpful for runner's cough, just to have cough drops for me personally or anyone who needs them. Even though I don't really run the 8 and the 4 all that much, I run the 300 hurdles, and also a lot of other people like to use my cough drops just because they get runner's cough at meets and then they have to go compete in other events. So it is nice to have cough drops. Next, I guess, this is seems stupid, but I have Band-Aids in my bag. I spike myself more than you would expect. So it's nice to just be able to throw on a Band-Aid if you don't want to have to deal with that, like going back to the tent to get something when you're trying to warm up, things like that. And I also have tape. Most of the time I use this for jumping to mark where I'm going to start from on the runway. I use these if I need to tape up my ankle if I sprain it or something like that. But this probably isn't enough tape to tape up an ankle. So I probably need to get a new roll. But these I use mostly to mark where I'm going to take off from on the runway. Next is my ankle brace. I have this ankle brace from basketball season, but I keep it in my track bag because actually I have super weak ankles and I roll them really easily, which most of the time it's fine, but sometimes when I roll it bad enough and I feel like it's hurting and I don't want it to sprain again just because it's currently hurting, I'll just throw this on. Since it's a basketball brace, it's pretty thick, which is unfortunate and might make me get a new one, but for now, this is nice to have in my bag if I ever sprain my ankle. At state, I actually sprained my ankle right before the 300 hurdles. And so, yeah, it was helpful to just have something to throw on super quick so that I didn't have to worry about it as much and it would help the pain a little bit. But I've never actually had a serious ankle injury, knock on wood. But that's just really nice to have in my bag, just peace of mind. And if anyone else rolls their ankle, they can use it as well. So I guess the next thing will be my bands. I have a bunch of bands. These can be used, you put them around your ankles or right above your knees to do a variety of different exercises. I have a bunch of different colors because yellow is the easiest, then green, then blue, then black. And actually you can see when you look at it how much thinner the yellow one is compared to the black one. The reason I have 3 green ones, the green is just the color I use the most often, but the more you use one of these bands, the more it just gets stretched out, it gets weaker, and it doesn't provide as much resistance. So some of these are older ones and some of these are newer, but the older ones are definitely more like a yellow band because they've just been used more, and the green ones are more like the newer ones are more like an actual green band. So it's nice to have different varieties because I do use these a lot. So the last thing I have in my bag are called K-bands, and these are little loops that strap around your upper thighs. I'll probably insert a clip of me wearing these because it's going to be really difficult to explain. But pretty much one of these goes around each leg, and then you can clip the bands across the front, and then another one comes across the back and connects to this little ring. You can move up to these red bands, which makes it harder. These are harder to stretch. And so then I have these two straps, two thicker bands, and then the bag that I keep them all in my bag. And these are good for warming up every day. They help improve your form and they really help improve your speed. And then they're really good for warming up for jumping because in jumping you only have a certain amount of space to get down the runway before you have to explode into your jump. So you want to get as much speed as possible and you want to have good form so you can really kick off the ground and get up high. So that's what these are helpful for, and that's what I use them for.